Shalom, Kala Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem Harakakadash. Double honor the apostles of the great millstone who rule and teach well, and salutation to the occupant on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity, and in truth. We're gonna really talk about Esau, man, because I was at camp yesterday, and you had these Edomites, man, because we just got to a new spot, and they were happy until they walked past the camp, man, because the spirit of Yahweh Shemashai is flooding the whole earth, and you Edomites out there that's been trying to distort history, and try to dictate life, man. That doctrine of death that you've been bringing out for 500 plus years, influencing generation after generation, slowly creeping in your new world order with all your detestable things and abominable things. All of that is actually coming to an end, and you don't need to be a genius to see it. Right now, if you're in the mainstream and that's all you know is mainstream, and you're into what's next and what's popping, you're underneath covering, underneath a delusion. But the Most High is taking the back curtain all the way up to the main source. So even these main outlets can't even escape what's going on. Especially you Edomites. You Edomites know in your spirit that it's your turn to face your own judgment. All right, let me get a few scriptures here. This is Lamentations. This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz." All right, and that land of Uz today is America. Okay, because Uz is actually one of a descendant of the Edomites that own a territory, and now it's wherever Esau dwells. Okay, mainly in America. It says, "The cup also shall pass through unto thee, thou shalt be drunken, and shall make thyself naked." Yeah, that cup of slavery, of torment, of looking over your shoulder if something's gonna happen to you. Even one of the brothers at camp were saying now they're giving out warnings to Edomites that travel to be careful. What is those are signs that you guys are no longer a dominating, over influencing people anymore. You're losing your power. You're losing your dominion, your grasp upon the people. Continuing, it even says, "And thou shalt be drunken." Drunken with what, man? You're gonna be drunken with this slavery. You're gonna be drunken with humiliation. You're gonna be drunken with being weak. You're gonna be tormented, and you are being tormented through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. To the point where you guys can't sleep at night. You have Edomites walking past the camp with straight faces, or angry faces, or their heads down to the ground. Also that Edomites gonna drive to the pan going, "What the fuck?" Why? Because I think the worst thing is never being in adversity, and then all of a sudden the world coming down heavy on you. You wouldn't know how to deal with that. That's something that you've never experienced, because for 500 plus years, your generation, your nation has been getting away with thievery, raping, all right, lying, mischief, false accusations, all these things, and no one's ever questioned you. No one's ever risen up against you. No one's really have called you out on your wickedness. Now Yahweh Shemashai, has the prophets out here calling you out, and you're starting to trip over your feet. And he's also raising these other nations to also give you guys issues. And the one thing we understand with Esau cannot handle pressure, man. All right, when Esau gets to the point where he can't control something, and it becomes overbearing, what he likes to do is do suicide. All right, Esau likes to do suicide. This is verse. It also said, "And shall make thyself naked." Yeah, how did? And then in Yabash Mishai said, "And thou shalt make thyself naked," meaning you guys are gonna cause your own disgrace. Okay, you guys are gonna cause your own self to be shown of all your evil deeds, which is known. All right, everyone around the world knows that you guys are full of crap. That everything is set up on a satanic vibe. All right, the world sees you for who you devils are. You guys are not the children of the Lord. There's no angels that look like you. All right, God does not look like you. The Son does not look like you. You guys are just a piece of shit, vagabonds that needs to be locked up in chains, and told what to do. In 500 short years, you have destroyed the whole planet and everything in it, and you guys have no signs of stopping. Lamentations 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Yeah, so the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, our punishment is actually being lifted. Us coming into the truth, knowing our nationality is being lifted for the elect, because majority of our people have no clue of who they are and what this really is about. Now you have some who say they're woke, black conscious, meaning who understand that Esau's their enemy, but they don't understand the extent. They don't know the biblical history, circular history. They don't understand the modern day reasons why they're in the position they're in. They don't understand why them and the so-called white men, the Edomites, can't get along, or why every time they try to, you know, uh, grow and be their own community, they never can, because it's really the Lord keeping you there. He's just using Esau to oppress you. All right, to fulfill prophecy. It says the punishment of iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, your punishment is accomplished. All right. It says he will no more carry thee away into captivity. So there is no more captivity after this so-called white man's rulership is over. The kingdom of heaven will be established after this kingdom is fallen. That's why Esau is trying his hardest to get that one world government for everyone to be in one cahoots, because then he can deceive the entire world without an issue, without a problem. He thinks he'll get that and everything will run smoothly. Right? He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins, and that's why us, the prophet, are here. We are Yahweh Shemashai's mouthpiece, and we're calling you out on everything you've done across the planet, down to the media you used to see the minds of the people, the GMO foods, okay, the fluoride in the water, the spraying of the chemtrails, you dumping nuclear waste in the waters. All right, your so-called education, which is really cramping, and that's a terminology for school, cramping, because they just cramp your head with nonsense just to stress you out, and keep you so bothered with thinking that what you're doing is actually worth something when it's meaningless. Okay, and there's actual jakes here that think that because they have the opportunity to go to school compared to slavery, and that's all right, that Jake is simple. Just because they have the opportunity to go to so-called school, that they went one up in the world because they're not in chains, man. You're in mental chains, and I think that's far worse than being in physical chains, because at least in physical chains you knew who your enemy was that was whooping your ass. In these mental chains, you don't know who. These Jakes don't know who's whooping their ass, man. Is thing they're able to do whatever they want because they get to go outside now without getting beat. All right. Let's go to Ezekiel. All right. This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and 1 says, moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesied against it. And that's what you're seeing around the four corners of the earth, right? We are prophesying against Esau, and Yahweh Shemeshai is manifesting them curses. Okay, Hawaii, it basically looks like a giant land of chalk oil. Okay, chalk oil, if I'm saying that correctly. All right, and Hawaii actually had a beautiful setting. All right, and to be honest, it was Jake's ruling that place before Esau got over there. So rightfully so that they're getting the judgment for that. All right, then you got down there, and I think it's like is it Puerto Rico? I want to say. All right, the volcano erupting over there, and yeah, the majority of Jakes over there that's catching that. But you Edomites that live nice around those areas, you're catching it too, man. All right, so everywhere where you see the Israelites set up, mainly GMS, right, who's pushing this truth, we're prophesying against you. It says, and say unto it, thus saith the Yahweh power, behold, O Mount Seir, you Edomites, you so-called white people, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. And that's what Yahweh Shemeshai is doing. All right, he's stretching out his hand against you. All these plagues that's happening, all the epidemics of all these drug overdoses, and you becoming minority, though you were always minority, you being forced to talk about Esau and Edom on your news stations. Yet that's Yahweh Shemeshai coming against you and stretching out his hand. He says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh Shemeshai. And that's gonna happen with the nuclear missiles. All right. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and you guys have been having a perpetual hatred, and everybody want to say, they have love for us. They have love for us. What do you mean? How are they showing hatred? This guy's not pulling up a gun to me. He's not trying to rob me. It has nothing to do with that. Okay, hatred goes a lot deeper than someone trying to rob you. Okay, physically, in a modern day sense, because they already robbed you. They don't need to show you that they rob you in a hateful sense. They're already robbing you. They're robbing you during your work. They're robbing you during your hours in your life. They're robbing you of your mind. Okay, they're robbing you of your culture. And when I mean culture, I'm not talking about black culture or Latino culture or native culture. I'm talking of being an Israelite. Okay, every time they show biblical movies and they have Edomites in there, when it should be Jakes, that's hatred. Okay, when they're twisting up the scriptures and making it convenient for them, that's hatred. When they're saying that they're the royal family, they're royal line, and they're Prince Harry and Queen Elizabeth, that's hatred, because they're not that royal line. Because every nation has a royal line. Okay, you had the Dukes of Edom and all that, so the princes of Ishmael. You had also the princes of Ham, things of that nature. But the line of Israel, which Queen Elizabeth claims to be a part of, she's not a part of. Okay, so that's showing hatred. Calling yourself a Jew and not even doing what the law says, man. That's hatred within itself. Okay. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Yeah, you guys came in, man, and swooped us, man, when our iniquity had an end. You furthered the affliction. Okay? It says, therefore as I live, saith the Yahweh Shemeshai power, I will